So there's this tool here about how, because to influence someone, you have to start by building trust. Do you get me? And if you think of people who've influenced you, where did it start? You trusted them, isn't it? And how did you build this trust? They connected with something that is so dear to you. Sometimes you have not defined it yet, but you find you kind of just warmed up to them, and you feel like when you have something, you kind of quick, I need to call Nani. You want to call them and tell them, like, hey, can we meet up for coffee? There's something I want to talk to you over. Because you trust them. Lakini kuna wale, hata wakisema, hey, leo niko, si uniita tuongee. Like, huyo? I will only talk to them if they're the only person left in this world. That's when I'll tell them what is important to me. But when I have my precious, important things that I need to guard, there's only one person maybe that I know that I can call and say, hey, ebu tukutane kesho, kuna kitu nataka tuongee na wewe. Because you trust them, isn't it? And you've lowered your guard and give them permission to speak into your life. And tell you, enyewe hiyo vile unafikiria, sio nikienda pahali. Na ukikwambia hivyo, you know they not mean bad. You know enyewe wameona loopholes. Wamaliza, okay, hizo loopholes umeona ni vipi tunaweza fanya, and then you can now say, okay, tufanye hivi, I think tukifanya hivi, maybe it can be a good idea. You're getting me? But kuna wale ukiambia kitu alafu waseme, like, kwenda huko naongea, alafu unatafuta mtu mwingine, because you cannot trust what their feedback to you. You can't trust their feedback to you because you know who you trust. And the word trust is a very special word. Most of us have used it around all over. I trust you, but you have no idea what that means. And when somebody tells you, I don't trust you, we feel like our world is shattered. That's the last statement you want to hear from someone, like, I don't trust you. If someone tells you, I don't trust you, not that I don't trust you, my friend, but you get my point. If someone tells you, I don't trust you, nani asikenga vizuri akaambiwa I don't trust you? At you don't trust me? Yeah, at least I have one person who don't trust me. Anytime you're told I don't trust you, it breaks you, isn't it? It makes you feel like, really? And like, kwani nimefanya nini unitrust? And you start struggle trying to convince them that they should trust you. So trust is very an important thing. And so, if this is you, and this is a person you want to influence, so think of someone you want to influence. This high school kid you want to influence. This high school kid or this member of your group you want to influence. It could be anybody. A sibling at home you want to really influence. It starts with you. So there are these 4 things: character, chemistry, competency, and credibility. And those 4 things play out for different people differently. And you can build all this. You have character, you have chemistry, you have credibility, you have competent. And different people, there are those who, for them, the minute they know you are someone of character, they'll trust you. Bora wasikie tu, huyu jamaa ni jamaa mzuri sana. Ni jamaa mzuri sana. They're like, ni jamaa mzuri, not very competent, lakini we can work on their competence. Lakini ni jamaa mzuri. Nikiwa na birthday party, naweza muita, alafu nimwache na sibling yangu mdogo because I trust them, isn't it? Because tabia yao ni mzuri. Lakini kuna wale, huwezi acha na sibling wako mdogo. Hey, huyu nikiacha na my young brother or my young sister. Shida. Kuna wale, chemistry. Just, like for you, if someone is lovely, nice, they create a good environment, the chemistry just click. Like, hey, this guy has good vibes. Like, so to some people, the good vibes make you trust someone, but to some people, the good vibes are like, yeah, he's a nice guy, but I don't think I can trust him. Yeah, hata yes, vile amesema, hiyo kuwa nice pia ni red flag wako. Like, huyu wako hivi nice hivi, ni nini anaficha? Ni nini anaficha na kuwa nice? Lakini kuna wale, mtu akiwa nice, quickly unamtrust, sivyo? Because they are nice. They are warm, they come up, they have good vibes, they take you to nice places, they're always showing up and making you feel like, wow, there's sunshine there, because they have some chemistry that you like, isn't it? To some people, competency. Can you do what you say you do? Can you do your work? And for them, the fact that you can deliver on your work. Unaweza kuwa na hizi tabia mbaya. You might be someone who people don't like being around, but the fact that you can do your work very well, they'll trust you. Am I making sense? Yes. The fact that if you say, I will write that report and I will send it to you and it will be the best report ever, and they send that report and you look at it like, wow, this is a wonderful report. Pop, you trust them now. Next time when you're looking for someone to go somewhere with, oh, kuja, kuna report hapa, kuna place tunataka tuende, because you trust them because they delivered on something. Does that make sense? There are people, credibility is, can you continuously show up like that and do it for my case and address my situation? And that's when you talk about credibility in this case. Can you be relevant to me? Can you be someone I can rely on? To some people, it's more, yeah, I think I can count on you to show up always, because you've always done that over time. And because of that reason, you trust them. Does that make sense? Now, you need to ask yourself, what is it that makes you quickly trust people? Now, it's one thing to build trust, and sometimes when you remain on this level of trust, it's very transactional. And there are people you trust, and you can just do some transactions with them, but you can't let them influence you. You can't let them speak into your life, but you trust them. Yeah, you trust them. But when it comes to speaking into being a trusted advisor in your life matters, you cannot let them do that. But you trust them. Are there people like that in your life? And even you, there are people who, they trust you, but when it comes to speaking into their lives, they're like, who gave you permission to speak into my life? Who? When did I give you permission to do that again? You're a good guy. Yes, I know. You're a good guy. I trust you. But please don't be very quick to start telling me what you think I should do with my life, because we are not there yet. Amaje? Hatujafika hapo. So, there's a process kufika hapo. Because that's where now you experience true, authentic, impactful, influential relationship. And what you need to do is to lower your guard. Because all of us have this wall of self-preservation, which is not bad. Because we show up, and since I don't know him, I'm not sure can I be, is it okay to say this? How will he take it? Will he be quick to use it against me? I don't know this guy, so let me weigh up first. And then I realize, I think I can tell him. So you lower your wall, pole. You start being vulnerable. She talked about vulnerability. You start being vulnerable, isn't it? Some of us, sometimes we lower our wall too early, and it scares people. And then people think they become your project. You're lowering your wall too quickly because you want them also to lower theirs. You want them also to tell you something because they're a project to you. But sometimes it's a slow process, and asking yourself, is it the right time to lower my wall? And hopefully when you lower your wall and be vulnerable, they will open up and tell you something that probably they've never told anybody. Then influence starts from there. Does that make sense? We talk about leadership is influence, but sometimes you don't even know what we are talking about. When I am seeking to influence him, we have to build trust. And then with that trust, we move to the next level, which then me as a person who is the leader who is seeking out to be of influence to this person, I will start by looking for the right environment to lower my wall. And hopefully they will reciprocate. Sometimes they might not. But at least you opened that door. So next time, they might show up and say, ile siku ulikuwa unaniambia hiki kitu, mimi nilikuwa nafikiria tu juu ya hiki kitu. Uko na muda tuongee. And before you realize, they are opening up to you. And at that point, you are experiencing an influential relationship where you can speak into each other's lives and really greatly influence each other. Does that make sense? That in order to truly influence someone, you have to start with trust, unlock trust. And different people unlock trust differently. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
And so don't think that if I'm looking for this, then everybody is looking for the same thing. I need to first know him so well that I know what is more important to him. So that when I show up to him, I show up in a way that I know I'll be able to speak to what he's looking for. And not being manipulative. Not being manipulative. But it's treating him the way he'd like to be treated. There's a platinum rule that we know, all the golden rule. Do unto others how you'd like to be done for, isn't it? Where I treat him the way I'd like to be treated, isn't it? But there's a platinum rule, which says, do unto others how they like to be done. Does that make sense? Yes. Anybody can repeat what I just said?
Do unto others how they like to be done.
So for example, if for me, I don't like being hugged. For example, I've had to learn how to hug because my wife likes hugs. She wants to be hugged. Now I can't say because because for me I don't like hugs. Because I don't like you hugging me all over. So I will not hug. I'll be in trouble with my wife, isn't it? Because my wife loves hugs. What do? I have to hug her. Sisi sema mimi sipendi hugs. So mimi si hug mtu. Unadhani hiyo marriage yetu itaenda wapi? Sitakuwa ya pains, a lot of pains to my wife, isn't it? And she will persevere, and sometimes she has persevered. And it has come up when you're doing a couples meeting, it comes up, hey, my husband doesn't hug me. I'm like, oh. I'm supposed to be hugging. And then I have to remind myself, Gabriel, hug. It's not, it doesn't come by default. That's not how you think. That's not how you approach life. But Gabriel, for the sake of your marriage, do what? Hug. Do you get my point? Yes. And so there are things that you do to people because that's how they like to be done for. And so that's why they, mimi niko hivi, mimi kila mtu lazima, you live for others. Does that make sense? Love your neighbor as you love yourself, isn't it? But you live out for others. In this world we make,
Is it fair?
That?
Like that one, now doing things for others instead of yourself.
There's a balance. Now, hopefully my wife has also learned to do things for me. Hopefully, after the 14 years. So I'm hoping that when I fight for her highest possible good, she'll also fight for my highest possible. That's the hope. And she's done it. Now, there are moments when you have to sometimes strike a balance and ask yourself, in this situation, for me to be able to really serve this person well, is it important for me to show up with my needs or to focus on their needs? Do you get my point? And if I'm asked to influence him, showing up with my need is not going to influence him. But when I look at his needs, I will influence him. Am I making sense? So again, it's that balance of, am I out to influence this person? And what is it that I can do to make sure that I'm influencing them? And sometimes what makes us really dwell so much in this wall of self-preservation is these three questions. Sometimes that we don't lower our walls of self-preservation. When you're asking ourselves, what am I afraid of losing? And sometimes you're not vulnerable because you're afraid of losing a reputation that we built. Isn't it? What anajuanga mimi ni leader. Mimi ni leader. So siwezi sema makosa nimefanya. Tu nikisema tu makosa kidogo hivi, I will lose that reputation. So hata kama nimefanya makosa, siwezi admit. I'm blaming everybody who is around me. And for me, I'm always like, mimi ndio, I make good decisions. Everybody around me always making mistakes. It's me. This thing is holding because of me, guys. You think people will even pay attention to that? Sometimes what are you trying to hide? You're trying to hide some flaws, some mistakes, you're working so hard to hide something. And then what are you trying to prove? You're trying to prove that you're the best person ever. You're not. There are other people better. There are more beautiful people, isn't it? Yes. There are more handsomer people. There are more people who are more handsome than yourself. So anyway, but what are you trying to prove and to whom? Are you trying to prove that you got it figured out together? That you figured your life together? And to who are you trying to prove to? Sometimes everybody is more concerned about their life that you're struggling to prove something to someone. You might be struggling so hard to prove a point and nobody's paying attention to you. Am I making sense? So it's important to always interrogate these questions. I'm not saying they're bad questions because sometimes you're afraid to lose money. That you had earned money. You're afraid of losing this money. And so ukiona tu mtu anakusumalia ovyo ovyo, hununui sweetie. Nasema huyu anasmile hivi na nataka nimpeleke out, simpeleki. Because at this point I'm not sure I'm willing to lose my money on this thing, isn't it? Am I making sense? So sometimes it depends. Yeah, go ahead.
On that, I have a question.
Yeah.
You talked about trust. What are we going to regard so that you can trust someone? And if so, are there levels of trust?
Mm-hmm. What does someone think? Are there levels of trust, and what are you going to do? There are some things you're going to show here shortly, but are there levels of trust? Anybody want to speak to that? Mm-hmm. Sydney?
For me, I think trust goes with the context.
Mm-hmm.
You can trust people with certain things according to their abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So I think everyone has their own strengths and their weaknesses. So of course that is going to come out in how they perform in different contexts or in different tasks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if this one is good at this, then I know I can trust them at this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it depends. So I like what you've said. If it is work, there are people you know you can trust with work. But you're not sure you can trust them to go take care of your child at home. Am I making sense? I can trust them to do a good job, but I don't think when I'm traveling for a weekend, I can send my kids to their house. Because I'm like, Eesh. But there are people, I can send my kids to them, but I don't think I can trust them with work. Because kuna vile unawajua tu, sivyo? Does that make sense? Does that answer you? So I think it's always, and that is a self-awareness you need to even have, and also have around everybody around you, so that you know how best to manage expectations, and to manage your relationships, and to manage how then you're evolving with different journeys of growth that you're going through. Make sense? Now, let's look at this quickly before we close. Yeah.
Question.
Yes, go ahead. Sorry. Boss, nini mbaya?
That is to add on what she has asked. Let's say Taff is my friend.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very good friends.
Is that an example? Okay.
But also, there are things I can tell him, and there are things I can't tell him. As much as we're friends, we hang out a lot. Maybe we're in the same workplace. We go to the same church. Like him to. But someone says, I can't tell him about my relationship, maybe. But I can tell him about maybe my finances. And I can't tell him about my family problems, but I can tell him something else. Now, can we say that's another example of level of trust?
Yes. And again, it's back to this question. Is what is making you not to tell him about these other things? Is there a trigger? Is there something that you're still not sure how he will handle? Is there something that you're still wondering? I know I can tell him about how broke I am, and we can talk about my brokenness and all those things, but if my girlfriend broke my heart yesterday, no. Because I'm not sure how he will handle that. Isn't it? Like for me, I know. With my marriage, there are people I can't talk about my marriage with. Does that make sense? But I can talk about my work frustrations with them. I can talk about how broke I am. And I can even reach out to them and say, Maze, uko na sombili, uko na... Unadhani... Man! Life! But I can reach out to them and say, hey, I need a boost here. Something is not working out right. Could you send me XYZ? But when it comes to discussing how yesterday my wife was looking at me funny, I can't.
So how do you handle that now?
I think it's finding, because like for me now, I have the relationships I know I can open up in that space. And that's so, my personality, I have very few intentional friends that I can go deeper with. So it's always knowing and managing and knowing, this one I can go deeper with, this guy no, because we're not at that level. So that, again, remember when Jesus talks about, do not throw your whatever to swines. Jesus talked about that, isn't it? Do not throw your precious whatever to swines because they'll trample on them and come and whatever, you also, isn't it? So sometimes because you're not very careful how you handle what is precious to you, you throw them to someone who is not at that level to handle it. And so the question is, have you given each other permission to be able to speak into each other's lives? And have you intentionally said, Maze, I'm counting on you to be someone I can open up to. So that it's not just assumptions. Because sometimes we make assumptions that you can open up to someone, and then you go do it, and then unasikia kwa meeting ingine, kuna beshte wangu, hebu tumuombe. And no, I'll not tell you that. I'll not say who they are because I know some of you might know them, but I know, person X. And then, so you said, then you are somewhere. Hey, we were in a prayer meeting, and a friend of mine was just sharing how their friend, and they're like, guys, hiyo ni story yangu. So I think it's very important to, one, be the people that can provide a safe space for others to open up. And when someone chooses to confide in us, to maintain that confidentiality. Is that making sense? Don't be the one who makes people's problems to public prayer items. If you have to pray for them quietly. But don't because you have a story, you lack a story to tell, you start thinking you can twist it so that ikae ni kama ni jamaa ingine who lives in Mars. You know, we are interconnected. We are interconnected, isn't it? I might think I don't know her. But then, after just talking a little bit, I realized, guy, she knows someone whom I know, isn't it? And then, so if I tell this guy something thinking to never get to her, within a month, she's mad at me. She's not talking to me because I told this guy, not that you tell people things, but I told this guy, and this guy told someone else, and before she realized, it got to her, but I only told Gabriel. How come this thing is coming full cycle? And now, vile watu wanaongezanga chumvi, ili story ikuwe interesting, wanaeka roiko, wanaeka kakitu kadogo, dania, makoroga kidogo hivi. You are like, what? And then Gabriel, I told you this in confidence. Shida iko. Am I making sense? So I think it's always appreciating that and being intentional with someone, and hopefully you're mature enough to actually be able to hold people's confidentiality at that level that they've offered it to you. I'm seeing more hands are coming up. This trust is a big one. Yeah, but this is good. So I know his hand was up, and then I've seen your hand, and then I've seen her hand, and then his hand. So let's go in that order. So